Well, hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of today's Conversations on Leadership, powered by Life University. I'm your host, Dr. Gilles LaMarche, and I am thrilled to have sitting beside me in studio Life University's brand new sixth president, Dr. Brian McAulay. Brian, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Dr. LaMarche. It's great to be with you.
We got some exciting times coming up. And, yesterday I had the privilege of being in the room when you shared your strategic vision for the institution moving forward. And I think it would be appropriate for our audience to understand what you are bringing to the table and the vision that you have and what you want to accomplish during your tenure here at Life University.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, look at where we are. 50th anniversary last fall. A lot of us were there at that event. Let's talk about the next 50 years, right? I mean, think about when Sid and Nell Williams opened the doors to Life University, 1974. What a different climate it was in terms of healthcare, right? And of course, their history goes further back than that. They graduated in the 50s and they set up their offices in the 60s. But they had this fundamentally different idea about healthcare, right? If you think about that period in time, it was Eisenhower, it was Kennedy, it was the technostructure. It was the peak of technological medicine, I think you would say, and what we call the outside-in approach, the biomedical approach to healthcare. And here are these people who present this new model that says health really comes from the inside, and we should be talking about optimal expression of that internal potential and not so much what our symptoms are at any given point in time.
I've been saying for years, and more so in the last even 6 months, there's never been a better time in history, never been a better time in history to be a chiropractor.
It's so true.
Because the people out there are ready, they're ready to receive our model, and having you step into Life University with a vision of what we can create at the institution to bring that model even bigger and better around the globe, that's an important thing that I believe our audience wants to know.
Well, and it's, we're really primed for that second 50 years, right? So we need to think about, we've done a good job. It's kind of been I'd say, with limited impact. I mean, pretty good. We've seen some growth. I think we need to blow the top off of that, Jill. I think we need to say, how can we change this for more? How can we provide more opportunities? How can we get an expanded set of careers that reflects this approach to healthcare? How can we make the public even more aware of it? How can we do more research? How can we get more funding? I mean, I think we've only begun in this 50 years. I think the next 50 years, it's time to multiply this thing. I mean, I think we're in 10X mode. It's time to think about, okay, in 10X mode, what does this look like?
Exactly.
And from our perspective at Life University, how do we accommodate that growth? What are the programs we're offering? How are they being offered? Do we need to look at other locations? I mean, how are we going to expand to fit this expanding need, right? These are the questions we've got to start addressing. It's not just chiropractic, right? There are people who want to serve this paradigm in other ways. So it's about our nutrition programs, at the undergraduate level, at the master's level in clinical nutrition, dietetics. It's about thinking, right? We know there are interference to expression from faulty thinking. So it's about psychology. Here at Life, we have a positive psychology program which reflects this paradigm. It's about movement, right? Move well, eat well, be well, think well. So it's about exercise science. So understand it's chiropractic's growing, but also the range of professions that reflect this paradigm is also growing as well. And here at Life and at other institutions as well, there are now these options if people see themselves in a different kind of role than being a chiropractor. We are now graduating fewer chiropractors every year than are retiring. So we have chiropractors who have earned retirement. I mean, they put in their 40 years and they deserve a chance to rest. Some of them are telling us they can't quit because they can't get a doc to replace them. And their patients are saying, hey, doc, what am I going to do? You can't leave. Other cases, we have docs retiring and moving to a different location to retire. And people where they move are saying, hey, there's no chiropractor here. Would you mind adjusting me? And before they know it, they've got crisis, right? So we're laughing, but this is a real issue. And the chiropractic programs in the United States, I mean, all of our programs collectively, we're not even filling the current demand. let alone accommodating increasing acceptance and increasing desirability for chiropractic care, right? So as a profession, we really need to address this issue. How can we make more people aware of this career? How can we get them to understand how fulfilling it is to be in a career like this? And, how can we help get them their prerequisites and get them into colleges all over the country, all over North America?
So listeners, if you have not been referring some of your patients to Life University to become chiropractors, it's time for you to step it up and maybe ask that question of every patient. Have you ever thought of becoming a chiropractor? And if you want these nice little signs that Life University has produced a couple of years ago to have on your front desk so that you can invite these prospective students to come to a Life Leadership Weekend at Life University, for example, call the university. We'd be happy to send you a little kit that you can put on your front desk. And it's simple. Have you ever thought of becoming a chiropractor? And it's interesting that as we talk about the need to increase the number of chiropractors who are graduating, well, that starts by sending prospective students to become chiropractors. And certainly in your offices, those of you listening who are chiropractors, in your offices, I would say that it is now not only something you should do, I believe it's something you must do. I believe it's something that you want to take a personal responsibility to have happen. I know from my practice in the 25 years I practice, I have 6 chiropractors who became chiropractors who were patients in my practice. And because of 2 of them, a couple of other chiropractors have become chiropractors. So, I mean, it is a way when we talk about where we're at right now, socially in healthcare in America and most of the developed nations, and now wanting to go to Africa. I mean, it is a big deal that we have a paradigm that people have probably been looking for years, but didn't really know that that's what they were looking for. But currently, we have more people. I mean, the wellness industry has gone so broad. I was at an event recently, Dr. McAulay, that was tagged as part of, how do we make America, how do we make the world healthy again? And there were very few chiropractors there. And I was saddened by that because the people that I talked to in that part of that movement are still living in a medical paradigm, but looking at introducing natural elements into a medical paradigm. And we know that long-term that will fail as well. So the paradigm that we know to be true as it relates to understanding the body as self-developing, self-maintaining, self-healing, I mean, that's what chiropractic is. And I know that's on your agenda. It's been on my agenda for years. I hope that it becomes on the agenda of everybody listening in. But that's where we're at. And we have a new leader at Life University that's actually going to help us accomplish that. In discussing all this with those of you who are listening in, why are we doing this today? Well, because first of all, I wanted to introduce you to Dr. McAulay if you didn't know him. Second of all, because we are asking you to really join in. If you're already a member of our Life Force tribe and you're well engaged, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're one of our donors who regularly supports Life University, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're a member of the Life Force tribe but not engaged, we're asking, get re-engaged. If you're a member of the President's Circle, get re-engaged and engage in this entire paradigm. Well, thanks for joining me. I know you've got a busy day ahead, so we will get as many people involved that want to be involved, and together we can create something great for humanity. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, John.